How's it going over there? Good?
We're good?
Good evening, everyone. I hereby call this select board meeting to order. It's 5:30 PM on Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start off with the town manager's report and see what you have. Donnie, what's going on?
Well, we had, unfortunately, our executive secretary has moved on to other work. So we had a public posting for a public hearing. We had some errors, so we just had to cancel it. We're going to reschedule that for hopefully the select board, before the select board meeting on the 26th. So we will have a public hearing then. We'll be posting that shortly. We've been, everybody's been stepping up. I'd like to thank Cindy, Renee, Brian. We're down like 3 positions, so everybody's been putting in a lot of overtime, and they've all been working hard, and we're getting a really good budget together for the town. And I'd like to thank the budget committee as well. We've had to reschedule and have a bunch of different meetings, but we do have a budget for the town, and everything's coming together.
Thank you, Donnie. We're going to move to department and committee reports. Cindy?
I'm all set, Ruben.
Okay. Chief Bucknam?
Slide this over here so you can see. Just a couple of things real quick. Obviously, the weather's warming up. We've been getting a lot of reports of people passing by stop school buses, letting off children, bringing on children. We will be enforcing that to the fullest extent if we do catch people doing it. Madison Ave is obviously one of our top spots out there with the 4 lanes. People think that they can drive by a bus because they're 2 lanes over from the bus, and that's absolutely false. At any point in time, you come to a bus with the red lights on, you are required by law to stop and wait for the bus to shut the red lights off. Okay, so everybody knows that. Number 2, the Federated Church, the Scottsdale Police Department, and the American Legion sponsor the Memorial Day Parade every year. The church just turned this in today for approval from the selectmen so that we can continue with that tradition. I realize that it's not in a timely fashion, but I do have it here. I can give that to you, Donnie.
Yep. And we're allowed to pass these with the select board's approval. So,
The church will be bringing in their insurance to Gale ASAP, but it's the same insurance we have every single year for them. So
we can also do this through an email as well. We don't.
Or we can do it in other business, either way.
Yep.
Okay, no problems.
Thank you, Chief.
thanks.
Thank you,
And,
Chief.
I also have a quick presentation, if I may. Sam?
Oh, yes.
So as part of our community resource officer position downtown, Officer Dutil, who holds that position right now, will be headed off to law enforcement bike school on the 22nd of this month down in Orchard Beach. So you'll see him once he gets back. He'll be on foot, he'll be on bike, and he'll be on vehicles depending on weather and where he's going to be working out of. But Sam Height and Height Family Dealership was very generous to sponsor this program with this bike, and this is really going to help save a lot of time, fuel, maintenance on cruisers, everything else, but also give us a better ability to get across this bridge in a timely fashion, because this bike will actually be able to cross the bridge instead of trying to get around the traffic to handle any complaints on either side. Colburn Park up to the school all the way to Cumberland Farms will be his patrol area. and he'll just be making those loops, checking businesses, and dealing with situations that fall within that. Sam, can you say a few words?
Sure.
You got 8 minutes.
Chief reminded me last night that I was going to be here to present the bike to the Skowhegan Police Department in the town of Skowhegan. So as a member of a fourth generation family business here in Skowhegan, we understand and we appreciate the communities that we serve. And that being said, this bike is sort of part of community policing. Community policing combined with bicycle patrols builds trust, increases officer accessibility, and enhances safety through proactive engagement. Bike officers are more approachable, reduce crime through visible presence, and can navigate through congested areas faster than cars, fostering stronger community bonds and improving public perception in law enforcement. So we're happy to be part of that. This is a Ford Bronco e-bike. If I give Chief anything, he does have a memory because I showed up to breakfast one morning with this and said, hey Chief, if you ever get a bike patrol back downtown, I'll donate the bike. And guess who remembered that? The Chief. But fortunately for us, we work with Ford Motor Company, the most trusted brand literally in the United States, and they helped co-op this for the town of Skowhegan. It has a 750 750 watt-hour motor on it, a 48-volt battery, and it has 85 Newton meters of torque. Class 3, while you're pedaling it, goes 28 miles an hour. Class 2, when you're just on the throttle and lazy, looks like you're in shape, you'll be good. You'll be 20 miles per hour. And the range is 60 miles, so that's a lot of loops around town. And it charges really quickly. I used it for a year, and I was impressed. So on behalf of the Hite family of dealerships, we present the Hite Ford Bronco e-bike to the town of Skowhegan and the Skowhegan Police Department.
We're going to get a car seat for officer detail for us. Any questions from the board or anything of that nature?
No, thank you.
I believe we do have to vote to accept donations like this.
True. Well, the town manager can approve it.
Okay,
At least that's what I was told at a prior meeting.
okay.
I mean, I hope you approve it.
Yes.
All right, looks like we're good to go.
Okay,
Thank you, boss.
thank you guys.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. And that was all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Gail. Yes, Chief. One sec.
Just on behalf of the Skowhegan Police Department, and I would probably say the entire town of Skowhegan, we would like to send our sincere regrets on the death of Gordon Tibbetts today, who crashed his Warden plane while on patrol up in the Avon area. If anybody knew Gordon Tibbetts, his family obviously is struck with this deeply, but our hearts and prayers go out to the Warden Service and his family as well. Thank you.
Okay, hello, is it on?
I just talked about,
Is it?
should be a button on the top.
I don't know.
Come on, Gail, you can.
Please.
I don't.
I can talk about it.
We're live.
Got it. Thank you, thank you. So I just have three things. Number one, on the agenda where it has discussion and decision to appoint election ballot clerks, it says term to expire May 1st of 2026, and I thought, oh, I must have messed something up, but I went to my notice, and it's supposed to be May 1st of 2028. I was right, so that's a typo.
In the warrant or in the agenda?
No,
Agenda.
in the agenda.
16?
Thank you.
On
Oh,
the agenda?
17.
Okay, sorry.
May 1st, 2028.
May 1st, 2028.
Got it.
Second thing, absentee ballots are available. We have the town, Democrat, Republican, there's no Green, no Libertarian, and we will have the school ballots sometime next week. I believe they're supposed to come to us sometime this week, but I don't know if they can be voted on until we've had the meeting at the school, so I'll find out about that. But we should be getting them, and people can have them at least by next Thursday. And anybody who's getting an absentee ballot, we're gonna mail them to you, or you're gonna come in and pick them up. And I just ask, please, don't depend upon the mail to get them back to us. Because even locally, mail is taking 7 to 10 days, and I'm sorry, and that's if you get it. So use our Dropbox, because we clean it out every night and everything gets put in nicely. And the third thing is, we have a new CDR program that the state has come up with. So we're all new with it. I'm surprised they didn't start it when we had a presidential election, but now one of the hottest elections is a primary, because you get certain ballots. And so we're maneuvering through that. So I would just ask everybody to be very patient with us when you come in or you call to have them mailed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gil.
Thank you, Gail.
Yep.
Jason?
I'm good.
Okay. Renee? Is there any other department head that would like to speak? Seeing none, we are going to move on to conflict of interest disclosure. We will start off with Amber,
I have none, thank you.
Ethan,
I have none.
Kevin,
I have none.
Elijah.
I have none.
I have none. So we're moving on. We're going to move on to select board items. Amber.
Just a quick thank you to everyone who's putting in a lot of time in this budget process. That includes Budget Committee, the Select Board, proofreaders, Donnie, the whole team here at the town office is working very hard, so thank you very much. And I thank the community for their discerning watching of our meetings and for weighing in as well. Thanks.
Ethan.
I'm all set, thanks.
Kevin.
I'm good, thank you.
Elijah.
Just a lot of paving going on, everything looks good. We got a quick question. The telephone poles, are the wires going to go from the left side of the street to the right side of the street and stay there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Because the poles aren't in the middle of the sidewalk anymore, right? So that was like a chief complaint. So, but anyway, thanks for getting all that done and staying on top of everything. Thanks to everyone for all the budget meetings and all of that stuff all the time everyone's putting in, like Amber was talking about. Love to see a huge crowd at the town meeting. That would be really great. We'll say the same thing next week, but that's it.
Jason, I have a question. Some people have asked if we're putting in streetlights or stop-go lights right where Heights is. And that's going to be a one-way street, Elm Street? Is that true? Okay,
No, that's not true.
okay.
Elm's still gonna be the same way. They're gonna put a traffic light in across from, right by Elm Street. You're gonna put a traffic light in there, and it's gonna be down to one lane when you go over to its bridge, and it's gonna open up, but, it's gonna bottleneck it a little bit. I think that's what they want, slow down traffic, but, yeah. They're gonna put, then they're gonna move the poles to the other side of the road, down on High Street.
The town doesn't really have a say in this, right? This is all the Department of
It's all the city.
Transportation, right?
All DOT.
All DOT, okay. Thank you, Jason.
That microphone, I think it's not working. I think we need to get a different one. That's not whatever we need to do.
Can somebody check the mic, please?
I'll check it, but I don't know that I can fix it.
I don't know if the batteries are bad in or what. But anyway.
Our mics are working? Yeah? Can we share our mic with the public for the next section?
Share this
Move
one.
along.
Slide that stand over this way a little bit.
Looking good. Just, you come up, you can stand right here. This will have to work. Jim will hold it.
That works.
All right, we're moving on to items by the public. If you'd like to speak, please step up to the mic. Harvey?
I understand the last selectmen's meeting, you guys okayed the assistant chief of the firefighters to have a vehicle to go back and forth to home with?
Yes, we did.
Okay. That brings me, I was also led to believe that we saved $13,000 by not giving John Uni some of the TIF money. Okay, so this guy's, he was pretty proud that he saved 13 grand, okay? But he forgot that that car probably cost us 20,000 to go back and forth to work, let alone insurance, everything. It's a cool $20,000 deal. You know, it's what, $400 a week pay raise? And John Uni's TIF money was sitting there in the bank for purposely just for what John wanted. I've never been for them TIFs, ever. Don't you start that in, Buster. I've never been for them TIFs since it started with Sappy. It started with Sappy when I was on this board. And I weren't for it then, and I'm not for it now. But once you get them here, you gotta go by what the law, what the rules are. And John was I believe, was within the range, 100%. So you guys ought to be really proud of saving that 13 grand but costing us 20. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak? Yes. Randy?
I'm here to talk about your solid waste management budget this year. And I understand you've got some $200,000 or better dollars from a solid waste management budget. I really wonder how much thought went into that. And I know budgets have to get smaller. If you think you're going to reduce the budget by cutting this, you're wrong. The only thing you're doing is passing on the extra cost to an aging population in this town. Anybody that's running commercial businesses in solid waste is going to pass the cost on to the taxpayers. And that's the users. And that's our elderly people that can't afford to pay the taxes in the town as it is now. And they're going to pay more because the business owner's not going to say, wonderful, I've gone up $1,000 a month to pay for my solid waste. I'm going to give it to my tenants. That's not going to happen. You all know it isn't going to. It can't happen. I don't care what any other towns do. We've never been like other towns. We don't have set examples like other towns do. We can be ourselves. You know, we don't pay sewer bills either. Everyone carries the cost of sewer bills. Everyone, because it's easier for a lot to pay than a few. You're just penalizing our elderly. You're hurting them. And I really, really can't imagine why you'd make a decision like this without bringing it to the taxpayers in a public hearing. This is crucial. This is just, it's unthought of. It truly is not. You're not going to save the taxpayers. You're penalizing the taxpayers. You truly ought to give that some thought. And what you've done is kind of hamstrung the public now because we can't increase the budget when it goes upstairs. You folks know that. You should have gave us a choice. This is a choice being made by you, not the taxpayers, not in the best interest for the taxpayers, because it's not gonna save them any money. It's just not going to. You ought to give that great thought. That program took years and years and years to build up there. And it shouldn't be torn down in little pieces like this. We can save money in other spots. We don't try to save money in places we could. We just pick the easy ones out. Nickels and dimes matter to people. You don't continue to raise taxes and cut services. Think about it. We're all taxpayers. Every one of us. It's getting harder all the time. And I guarantee you, your elderly people out there is not going to be happy when they pass a $50 a month increase in their disposal costs, because it's going to happen. You folks ought to think about that. You ought to think about it before it goes upstairs. Give us a choice upstairs. Don't make that decision yourself. It's too big. Let the taxpayers in on it. Let them think about it. We got a pretty intelligent tax base in this town. It takes more than a few to make his town work. That's all I have to say, but thank you. And think about it, please.
Thank you, Randy. Corey?
Well, I'm going to somewhat piggyback on what Randy had to say, and I got a packet that I made for each selectman that I'll hand out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I made one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And first, I would like to thank the Select Board for the opportunity to speak, and I have some questions and some comments, and I'm just hoping that maybe I can get some help clarifying some numbers. But first off, prior to May 2nd, when they took the vote to take $250,000 out of the commercial tipping fees, number one, I agree with Randy, it's not very friendly, right? We're going to increase everybody's people that use the commercial hauler, but what about the people that can't get to the dump? They can't get there. They're just supposed to pile it up outside? But I would dare guess that probably nobody researched the transfer station, number-wise. Okay? Well, I did, because I'm pretty irritated about it. And the selectmen have the paper. If we look at the recycling side, and I asked Donnie for some numbers this week, and he very graciously gave them to me. And he informed me that it takes 4 people and a supervisor a good majority of the time in the recycle center to make it run. Well, if you add that up per week, the payroll is $5,927 a week, $25,683 a month. Okay? Now let's put some expenses in. Benefits. And I divided it out by 5, so we're not using all 6 that we have employed there. I did the same with the electric, and I divided out the recycle program. So if we go down monthly, we are spending $37,802 a month in the recycling center, and we take in, after the tonnage, which I got off the solid waste report for 2025, and Donnie told me the numbers that we get, we currently lose $37,802 a month in the recycling center. Okay? We took in, total for a year, $71,471. It cost us $453,000 to produce 71. If we want to cut money, that might be a place to start. There is nobody, and you can ask at Waste Management, nobody can make money recycling. We certainly can't. I don't have a problem with maybe cutting it down, having one person recycle our own stuff, but we certainly don't need to be taking it from other towns. What are we doing? Well, an open invite, if we took the total tonnage that we recycled, 756 ton, and we put it in the trash, is $59,880 just to get rid of it. We can't pay one person's salary just to get rid of the recycling. It does not make any sense. And we're penalizing the taxpayers. We're going to take and make them pay to get rid of their garbage, but we're going to continue to hemorrhage money in the recycling center. I think everybody should take a good look. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
Oh, I got one, not done. So, when we cut the 250, am I, as a business owner, I have dumpsters, am I allowed to bring my trash to the dump?
Cindy, can you answer
With a
that?
dumpster.
With a dumpster.
We are not able to dump dumpsters into the pump.
So the answer's no, Corey.
So,
You can bring your trash there, you just can't bring a dumpster there.
okay, can I pay somebody to bring said garbage to the dump?
Pay somebody to do anything you want.
Okay, so if we all do that, where do we save $250,000? Still gonna land up there, the tipping fee is no different if it leaves my place or it leaves the town's place. Right, we're not saving $250 if I can pay somebody to haul it there. Just in my simple little mind. And one of the other things I see on the recycling report is we've decided that, as I read it, we're going to get a couple more trailers for recycling, and we would like to place them in other towns and go pick it up. I think we probably ought to worry about home before we go spreading our wings very far.
Thank you, Corey. Randy?
Just, Corey and I won't see eye to eye on the recycling end of it, I guarantee you that much, but that's okay. We can do a lot of things cheaper. We also can take the sewers out and dump our crap back in the river out here, but we don't want to do that. We need to recycle. We have a mandate, I think, of 40% or 45% by the state.
It is still up to 50, we're currently meeting 30.
So,
That's why they've created the.
We have to meet that. We have to meet that. My point is, and I agree with Corey, there's lots of ways we can cut back. My point is, why? A lot can pay for things cheaper than a few. If everybody pays a fair share, people in the country is paying for the sewer system. What advantage do they get for it? Nothing.
Yes, they do.
What?
They get their tipping fees when they bring their truck over there and dump it.
Well, wow.
Well, wow, that's money.
It's very little bit of money. Very little bit of money. I guarantee you more can pay for, more people can make this more affordable than a few. You're penalizing a few for no reason.
This is the public meeting and people get to speak. Yes,
Not them, I mean us.
you can speak.
So I just have something on a totally different subject than anything we've discussed, and this is more for the public knowledge. The library is excited. We're offering free.
Excuse me, you live in town?
I do live in
Yeah.
town.
Okay. I just want to know, because usually when I have to go up there, I have
John.
to identify myself.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me, John. I think you should let the lady speak. She's at the podium. Please.
I apologize. I'm Angie. I'm the director of the library. I do live in town.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I was just so excited to tell everybody that the library is offering summer passes this summer. You can get free passes, anyone that lives in Skowhegan, to Lake George, the Portland Museum of Art, Maine State Parks, the Maine State Aquarium, the Botanical Gardens, the Children's Discovery Museum in Waterville, and Maine Maritime Museum. The Friends of the Library Shop gave us the money to buy the passes, so anyone that wants to go, that you can check out a day pass and get in for free. So I'm just excited to let the public know about that.
Amazing.
What? Oh, and Friday is a bake sale.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Harvey,
Yeah, one more thing. In the last selectmen's meeting, when you guys was gloating about Skillin's insurances and the big Trump sign up on the hill here, nobody said nothing about Wits End getting 80,000 out of Tippins. That was never mentioned for some strange reason.
Wits End, I never got $80,000.
The people that bought Wits End was given $80,000 to redo the inside of that building. It had nothing to do with the outside of that building.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
That's fine. You said your piece, and I'm saying mine. But it's just funny how that got forgotten.
I just want to say I've reviewed all the private TIFs. I've spent hours looking at them. And I look at it like this. The TIFs, if they're not performing for the public, then they're not a good use of public funds. And that's how I feel. There should be a rebalancing of how the TIF money is spent, and it should be more transparent. And it should be spread amongst the public, infrastructure, community service organizations, and private grants. And private grants need to have conditions. That's my stance.
Have you started a committee to get this rolling?
We're working on it.
To be clear, there is a TIF advisory committee. Whitney has joined it, and we are wrestling with new points of view on the committee right now. So,
I think some of it, and I keep saying John, I have no love affair for John, but he applied in a rightfully time frame. Everything that he applied for was in that TIF. So before you guys go running for changing the TIFs, take care of that one and put a moratorium on them until you get your TIFs straightened out. That's not fair.
I appreciate your input, Harvey. Thank you.
Yeah, but he asked you a question, is it fair?
I don't get to decide what's fair. The state contract binds us to how we make decisions in the TIF, and the TIF advisory committee gets to wrestle with these decisions. So I will not speak alone on this. I will lean on the advisory committee. We had a lengthy meeting this past week to prepare for these budget decisions. We've got more urgent decisions right now to make about how the TIF may or may not affect contributions to community service organizations, which you will see us talk about tonight. And there's a lot more to address, Harvey, including the things that you're mentioning. And we are committed to addressing those things. It just takes time, many hours.
Get it fixed.
Yep.
Thank you, Amber. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak? I would like to move on to the consent agenda. Okay,
Could we take these separately?
sure. All right. We're moving on to the consent agenda to approve the minutes for the Select Board meeting, April 28th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved, as presented.
One
Second.
from Amber and the second from Ethan. Are there any questions or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. We'll move on to approving the minutes from the Select Board / Budget Committee joint meeting on May 2nd, 2026. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to approve the minutes with 2 corrections.
Second.
I have a first from Amber and a second from Kevin.
The first correction is that number 5 currently reads the Finance Department. It should read the Municipal Building Maintenance line item. And we can cross-check this afterwards, but it jives with the warrant. It jives with, I went back and checked our actual notes from the budget meeting. So this is just mislabeled. The heading is mislabeled. The second item is under the Police Department. Don't worry, Chief. There is a minor disposition of numbers. It should read $2,922,771, not $711. And again, that jives with the warrant, and it jives with the number that we came up with on the Budget Committee day.
Okay.
So that correction is under number 11, Police Department. we approved $2,922,771
Donnie, do we have?
for the
some-
minutes.
Renee's taking care of it. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Amber.
Yep.
All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 3, to approve the resignation of Patrick Moore from the Skowhegan Economic Development Corporation effective April 14th, 2026, as the Main Street Skowhegan representative.
So moved as presented.
Second?
I have a first from Amber and a second from Elijah. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. We're going to move on to the budget agenda. We're going to start off with a discussion and decision to allocate $190,000 from the TIF funding to offset approved support for community service organizations. At this point, the TIF committee, the original ask or the original condition that we set was $235,000. The TIF committee was willing to do $190,000. We are off by $45,000. So it would be good to go through the community service organizations to adjust them. My suggestion is that we take the $25,000 off of the public library, the downtown TIF funds going to the public library. That would mean that all $208,000 of their request would go to the general tax fund on the warrant. The remainder, $20,000, would come from Lights Up Production. They were asking for $50,000. So we will provide $30,000 from the downtown TIF, and $20,000 of their request will go to the general tax fund on the town warrant. The rest of them do not need to be adjusted. So that's my suggestion, and I'm hoping we can just make some motions to get these done here.
Can I ask a clarifying question about
Yes.
process? So, as we know, this line item is coming about out of an interest in some of our colleagues on the select board in seeing the available downtown TIF funds used for eligible expenses that reside in these asks from community service organizations. So we must use the TIF funds according to the state mandate and the contract that we have with the state. There are eligible activities in some of these service organizations. So this item is coming about as, frankly, as a compromise position between conflicting positions about the TIF that you've been seeing in recent weeks, to use some of, not all, of the available downtown TIF funds. Right now, Brian is here, not here. We have about $276,000 in the downtown TIF fund that organizations and businesses and even the town for projects can apply for. We, after wrestling with this in our all-day budget meeting, we came to agreement that we are willing to use a portion of those funds to offset, again, eligible expenses in these community service organizations. What we're recommending that we use the TIF for bears no, is not equivalent to what we think these community service organizations deserve for funding. It's just how do we want to allocate the TIF funds that are available in appropriate ways? And so, as Whitney said, we were in agreement to use 190 this year. The TIF pot will not renew as fast as that expenditure, so it is not something that taxpayers can expect would happen next year necessarily. It is a show of compromise to try to figure out if we can keep tax rates flat or lower. So So we do, in best practice, per our state contract, we do need to be able to defend that the ways in which we are allocating those TIF funds meet the state contract. I don't know, Whitney, that we need to do that in the, we can do that in a select board meeting. We can approve the lump sum for eligible expenses right now, and we can decide how it's allocated later, but it does impact, the decision on this item impacts what potentially is presented on the warrant. In our all-day budget meeting, we recommended zero funding in some cases because our assumption was we would use TIF funds to cover that. The petitions that community service organizations filled out that got them on the warrant remain the same. You ask for the same amount. What we've had healthy debate about is just, where does that come from? Does it come from the taxpayer this year, or can we use some of these TIF funds to cover that expense? Wanting you all to get funding. So Whitney, can you just reframe again? I know we've talked a couple of times about this.
I'm going to make a motion to amend Article 34 to ask voters whether to approve the sum of $208,000 from the general taxation for the funding of the Skowhegan Free Public Library.
So just,
That will be amendment to 34. That will take care of it.
okay,
All I need is a second.
in our agenda under number 19, we will have a discussion and decision to approve the town meeting warrant, and revisions could happen when we get to that item. And we could still advance this vote on the allocation of $190,000 from the TIF for eligible expenses.
I would just like to know, does it matter if we do it right now or not? I don't think that it does matter. I think that we can make these motions, make these amendments right here. We're discussing what to do with
Yeah.
$190,000 of TIF funds.
I don't think, the point I'm making is, I don't think we need to parse it out right now. The select board already have the authority to make final decisions about how TIF funds are used to meet the state contract criteria. That doesn't need debate, and we already have agreement on the 190.
Right, it's just the difference of 45,000. So we can take care of it right now.
I guess I'm saying it doesn't change the 190 number.
No, it doesn't change the 190 number, but we're going to just do it right now and take care of it. And I made a motion, and if I don't get a second, then it will fail. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, but let's define it just a little bit more. Review that one more time with us, Whitney, if you
Okay.
would, just so that we all can grasp what it is that,
The motion is to amend Article 34, to ask voters whether to approve the sum of $208,000 from the General Taxation Fund for the funding of the Skowhegan Free Public Library.
You're amending it to what?
That's it. We're taking, on Article 34 right now, it has $183,000 going to the General Tax Fund and $25,000 going into the downtown TIF. But because we can't use that much money, we're taking the 25
Can
off.
we add any other language in there about our recommendation for zero funding?
For zero funding, it's unnecessary, according to Ken Lexier, as the statement in the warrant is the exact amount of money they're asking for.
Well, I mean, I clearly wouldn't recommend zero funding if we were gonna put that back in the same.
That's what I'm saying, it's going back into, yeah, so we can have a vote.
I don't disagree with you, Whitney, but we have two separate agenda items here, and the first agenda item that we are at is the discussion and decision to allocate $190,000 from TIF funding. And so all I'm suggesting is, as we discuss, this needs to be a little bit clearer in that it must meet the state-sanctioned uses, and then we clear this one out of the way, and then the next revision comes
Amber?
in the agenda
The TIF
at number
committee-
19.
The TIF committee already made the decision that the $190,000 satisfies the state-sanctioned uses, right?
Yes.
So all we have to do is allocate the 190,000, which means we have to cut 45,000 from what we were going to do. It's very simple. And, yes,
If this isn't addressed, you're going to have an over expenditure. Is that where you're getting at? So the TIF committee has approved 190, you have 235 for requests.
yeah.
Right. You
And
just
so,
wanna
so
keep
you're
it
trying to get
I'm
that
not-
45,000 down, and then if you separate the TIF expenditures or requests, or approvals from the committee, however the select board chooses, I think that's fine, but I think if you don't address that gap, is where you're getting at.
Yes.
I'm just suggesting we take it up in the order in which it is in the agenda so that we keep these items.
I don't think it's
clear.
really that clear. I mean, I don't see why it can't be done here.
I
So-
guess,
I just,
So you're just suggesting that we take 25,000,
out of the downtown TIF, we eliminate that.
that was for the
That
library,
was
and
for the
putting that
library.
back onto the
General
town?
tax fund.
Yes.
Now the library is seeking 208,000 in its
Right.
request from the general tax fund. That's all I'm suggesting.
And the same thing with the Lights Up production,
And the same thing with Lights Up.
to take,
No.
I discussed this with the lawyer, and he said there wasn't a problem.
So Amber, are you saying select board approved the 190,
Yeah.
TIF committee's recommendation,
yes.
and then at some point you'll address this 45,000?
Yes, that is already on the agenda, and it comes up in item number 19.
right.
And we just keep them separate.
Right, I think all you're trying to
We
do.
will resolve
You
it.
think that,
Right.
so do you think that would be the route to go?
I'm with logical step by step.
I agree.
Is to approve this expenditure of 190,000 for TIF and get that off and say, okay, now we have that to spend.
Right.
And now we take a look at each of the warrants and decide within, as we're doing each warrant, decide which
Okay.
warrant we're going to adjust for that additional 45.
So
But all we're doing at this point is saying, yes, we all agree with what the TIF committee said, we want to spend $190,000.
Very good.
And
When I looked at discussion decision to approve a town meeting warrant, I didn't expect that we were going to go through all 50 warrants.
Are we?
I don't have the
We
agenda in
will
front of
raise
me.
things that need revision, and
Okay.
there are things that need revision, so.
All right.
And all
All
I
right.
would suggest, I'm fine with supporting the motion and the second. I would recommend, as part of discussion here, I would recommend some revision of the motion to say that it comes from the downtown TIF, because we have different TIFs, and that it be used to offset taxpayer-approved support for community service organizations that qualify under the state-sanctioned TIF agreement.
Okay.
There, I'll second that.
I got a first from Amber and a second from Kevin.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So I just want to make a point that we all know what happens when we assume, and I think we kind of changed the rules when we didn't have a long time to figure out how we were going to continue to play. So I just want to make sure, because I can see what's going to happen. We're probably going to have a second town meeting, because we're going to have some angry taxpayers if their amounts that they did petitions for are not on the warrant. And another thing to bring up, if somebody did a petition for $208,000 and now an amount is coming from the TIF, have we thought about they're going to get the $208,000 from taxation and then they're going to get the money from TIF?
No.
I mean, that's what we're saying.
The lawyer says no. I talked to him for a long time. Everybody's been talking about it's double counted, this and that. I finally had the conversation.
I
He
hope
said,
we're right.
Well,
So this,
get Ken here.
what Gail is saying is right. This is another reason to not try to parse this 190 right now. We don't have to. The select board have control over how to spend that 190. It's going to offset, per this motion, it would offset taxpayer support for community service organizations that meet the state sanctioned criteria. If, depending on how the funding turns out at town meeting, we would still have room to allocate it and disperse it as appropriate after the fact. That's within our authority. Gail, we're not suggesting that the amount, the
Okay,
petition
I just want to
amount,
make sure because
that won't change, but
they
what,
they did petitions.
so that goes on as
Okay.
petitioned.
Okay.
But what is inaccurate at this point is the assumption of how much we support giving.
Okay, so we
It's just our vote.
really shouldn't change those warrant numbers
No,
because
no, but-
those should stay as what their petitions were.
Yeah,
And
we
they are.
agree.
All right.
We agree where it says the select board vote 4-0 for zero funding. That's what we will want to look at in item number 19 tonight.
And I did speak with Kara today, and she agrees that those numbers need to stay what the petition numbers were. So that's non-negotiable. So.
There will need to be an amendment relative to the library and to Lights Up Production. And that's clear, and it was clear to Ken. And
An
it
amendment
was a
to
big-
the, but it's not going to change their initial
no, it's,
amount.
It's just
it's
gonna change where
an
the money's
amendment to
coming
the
from.
article because the article's incorrect.
Yes, we're going to get to that in item 19.
Very good.
Yes.
Let's move on. So,
Vote.
all those in favor? Okay,
Kevin?
Yes.
okay, 5-0.
Reading.
This,
Deep thought.
what?
Would you like to do your 2 votes and then let the budget committee do the 2?
I don't think we have to vote on the TIF
You don't have to vote on it.
expenditure because it falls under just the surplus now.
Okay, so when you're done with the surplus item, we'll shift it over.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to a discussion and decision regarding the allocation of $1 million of surplus to reduce the tax commitment.
Could discussion come first so that,
Sure.
okay.
But
Um,
I need a first.
What,
And then we have to amend it, because in order to have a discussion, we have to.
yeah, I'm just suggesting if we could have a little bit of discussion, then we make a clear motion and we move forward. Is that okay?
It was my impression that you have to have a first and a second before we can discuss it.
Okay.
Approve is written.
There you go. Thank you.
Second.
So what I was going to suggest in the discussion is that once we spend our $190,000 to help offset the community service organization expenses, Whitney had expressed a strong preference in the budget committee meeting to see that benefit taxpayers this year. In order for that savings to benefit taxpayers this year, we have to approve rolling that 190,000, we need to increase the surplus by 190,000 that reduces taxation this year. If we don't roll it into the surplus, then that savings hits the general fund and the taxpayer sees that savings potentially, depending on the surplus amount, next year. So that is what I hope to discuss. If you want it to hit taxpayers
Amber.
this year, we have to increase this million.
Amber, it's not going to work that way. We cannot take funds out of the downtown TIF and transfer them into the general tax fund as a surplus. It breaks the laws, the state laws. There is money that's shielded in the downtown TIF. It's shielded from county taxes, and it's shielded from school taxes. And it will create a huge problem for us. We should keep it simple, like we did at the budget meeting. The plan is to just fund these community service organizations with downtown TIF funds when they satisfy the parameters of the downtown TIF. The remainder will be paid out of the general tax fund. That's the only way we're going to do this. We
Okay.
cannot do it the other way because it's illegal.
So the concern that community organizations brought to us at the TIF meeting recently was that if we reduce our recommended funding and that passes at town meeting, then they come before the community next year with a petition that has to declare what they were funded at last year, and they will have to defend why they need more next year. And so this shifts the burden to community organizations to have to explain and justify why they need to renew their request next year.
This is really not difficult. They're getting their money, okay? They can just say, we got our money from here, and it's the same money that we've been asking for year after year. It's not difficult. The library won't be involved. The only one who might have to talk about it would be the chamber and Lights Up Production. But ultimately, we're funding these organizations. And I don't see that it's confusing, and I think it's going to greatly help the taxpayer and keep our our tax rate down
In 27?
in '27.
That was not my understanding at the budget committee meeting. We've gone back and forth over it. I'm really big in measuring every single TIF that we've had so far. Like, measure every single one. Like, you put the number of jobs that it created on the application. So let's look at that. Let's look at the actual number of jobs that were created. There are ways to analyze that data that we haven't done to tell if each TIF has been positive or not positive for the town. I'm big into seeing this town develop, and that sometimes means private individuals that don't have enough money to develop their buildings. And that's fine. I mean, my understanding was that if, once we turned down the attorney's ask, that, my assumption was that no more were going to be granted, right? So why not throw this amount of money at the public service organizations and save the townspeople money? That makes sense to me. But the speculation about 2027's budget, I'm not trying to cry about it, but I don't really think that, we don't know what's going to happen next year. I mean, I doubt that,
So we're doing this year's budget. This is all of what it's about, 2027.
So, Whitney,
The tax rate that we're going to set.
the point you're making is just, and you may be right, you talked with a lawyer today, I talked with a legal clerk today, to try to sort out what is the best path forward here. Your argument is that the semantics of rolling 190 into the surplus doesn't work, but offsetting the town's contribution through taxation saves the taxpayer more money, so we could also just increase this surplus amount.
And do what with the TIF fund? Leave it alone? Pay for this all with the surplus?
That we'd have the benefit.
No.
It's getting too complicated. Why can't we keep it the way we voted for it?
I'm trying to acknowledge the concern of communities for
Okay,
service organizations.
so it's heard. I've heard it. I don't think that it carries enough weight for us not to carry forward to lower taxes for the people here. They deserve the tax break. You're talking about a 1% reduction.
I agree with.
And every one of these organizations satisfy the TIF rubric. So therefore, it would be appropriate. It's time to start having a balanced approach with the use of TIF funds.
You and I are just talking about two different ways to save the taxpayer money, and the way
The way won't work right now, and it's illegal. You
No.
cannot. And I don't think that we should be using $1 million of this surplus to try to cover any of that. We've already got it covered. We've got it covered under the downtown TIF fund.
So your argument is to present it to the taxpayer as we're taking TIF funds and we are asking the community service organizations to ask for less from the taxpayers.
If a community service organization is asking for $15,000, I don't think they care if they get it from the downtown TIF or from the general taxation. I think the taxpayer would care, but I think that as long as they get their money, they're happy. And then the following year, if they can't get it from the TIF, they are going to say, we got $15,000. That's pretty easy to explain.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just presenting a different way of balancing the savings.
It's convoluted, and I think we need to keep it straightforward.
Question,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick question. We're taking the $190,000 and we're giving it to the service organizations, the TIF money, right? Does I understand it right? Do they have to follow all the regulations to be able to get TIF money on their own? Or we're giving them money, but they're not following the requirements?
They didn't require an application to apply for the TIF funds, which is different.
So
Correct.
they came to the town with a request and a budget and a budget narrative. They did not go through the TIF avenue, and that was problematic for some of the TIF advisory committee members because they didn't get the benefit of getting to see some of those things. At the all-day budget committee meeting, we wrestled with again, this was, we have several members of this board that feel strongly that the TIF fund should be used to help offset otherwise taxpayer expenses. So there are,
Now, what I'm saying, what I guess I'm trying to say is is this something that we can do legally with the TIF money?
yes.
To give it to the,
Yes.
give it to the service organizations?
Yes, for approved expenses. So inside the TIF, there are rubrics that say we can spend the money on these things. And the service organizations that we culled out of this list
Yeah.
do engage in those activities. So we had our deliberation over how much of this budget qualifies for the TIF, and we broke that out at the all-day budget meeting.
And I guess my next question, is the state gonna check to see if you're regulating, you're checking everything that the money's going to in the service organization?
We would not give money to an ineligible expense, and we would track it the same way the TIF is administered through the Economic Development Office.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
One question I had, so rolling it into the surplus, those TIF funds are already reserved or designated within some town account. So is that necessary to, I don't know if the surplus comes into this at all, because we already have the allocated TIF available funds.
The reason why I'm suggesting this is we don't know what will happen at town meeting. The taxpayers may say,
No,
they
hopefully.
may say, we want to help this organization through taxation. They could override our recommendation as select boards and budget committee members in terms of how much to spend.
Have at it. Have at it. If they take it from the general tax fund, I'm sure people will be upset with them, but they'll just get less money from the TIF. The money they can get is only the money they've requested. They can't get any more. That's it. There's no double dipping.
That money?
What's that?
Are they already committed to that money?
It's not necessary.
TIF money?
No, what they requested.
We're talking about how much TIF money we would give them, and that would lower the general tax fund.
Have you guys committed to that?
We've committed to $190,000
So if the
of TIF
taxpayers
funds.
agree to give them another 190.
They can't do it.
that's their business.
They can't do that. It's double dipping. They cannot take more than what they've requested.
No, the only thing that if I'm correct, tell me if I'm wrong, the only thing that has been passed right now is that the TIF, the select board has acknowledged and accepted the TIF committee's recommendation to provide $190,000 to help offset the requested money from the special interest applications. It has not given any specific amount to them. It's simply saying you have the right to use $190,000 worth of funds to offset those requests. So if we, the town, decide that we'll use the library's $208,000, we were originally thinking 183 would come through the town budget and 25,000 would come through TIF. If the town says we want to bless $208,000 through the library, then through the budget, then there would be no TIF. Because all they're allowed to do is help offset it if we choose to do that. Okay?
Right.
Thank you, Donna.
And I think that needs to be clear and make sure those I's are dotted. I don't like this process. I think if you get the petitions, you do the work. People at town meetings should get up and vote for taxation to fund these. I think it's creative this year to offset some increases, but we can see the confusion it's created. And I think it's pretty much a one-time thing because we won't be able to fund this.
And how do you
It's a
put language
one-time
to that,
thing.
Christian,
It's a
in
one-time
the
thing.
article,
It's a
right?
one-time
That's gonna be
thing.
the
If they change the way they're doing TIFs, we cannot continue to put 90% of TIF funds into private businesses when we have all this other work that needs to be done around here. We have to at least recognize the fact that many of these organizations operations are basically for downtown. And if they are, they fit the rubric. And they should be paid out of the rubric.
So right now, Whitney, we have a motion on the table and a second for $1 million of the surplus to reduce the tax commitment. I'm okay moving forward. It just means we need to resolve the balancing in number 19.
So I would like to make a motion.
There's already a motion and a second on the table.
So, I think we need to make a modification to the motion.
I do too. I want to amend the motion.
You have to vote on the motion. You can vote it down and then move to change the
All right.
motion.
So, and add to the discussion so that we can all take an educated vote. This is-
All those in favor?
Well, I mean,
Of-
what's,
of-
can we discuss what
You want
we
to
want to
take the
change?
$1 million and reduce it to the,
No.
for the tax
You
commitment?
have a motion on the table to approve $1 million in surplus to reduce taxation. You have a second. If there's any more discussion or you have opposition about that, you should say that
I have
now.
opposition about
Then
that.
say
Well,
why
what
so that
is-
we can
what's
all.
the
I'm
thing?
trying to, okay? Oh,
Okay, very good.
So I do think that Skowhegan needs to really look at how they are dealing with their trash. I have looked at many towns, and it's out of the curve. So we need to take it seriously. I've heard from a lot of you guys, and I do think that it's not fair to bring it on you if you haven't had a public hearing, and this really needs discussion, and maybe bring a consultant in. So my feeling is, I'd like to move to place an article on the June meeting warrant to authorize the use of up to $250,000 from available unassigned fund balance or surplus to offset the fiscal year 2027 solid waste and recycling disposal costs, if needed, subject to voter approval at the town meeting and confirmation that the funds are available.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I have 4 seconds on that? I was sitting there counting the back pages of these. There's 10 of them suckers. 10 of them. You guys talk about recycling until it comes to you guys. 10 pages, blank, empty, times, how many people in the room? You threw a tree away.
Thank you, Harvey.
So I'm confused, Whitney. Are you asking for an amendment to the motion or a whole new warrant item?
So we can vote on the motion to put that $1 million to reduce the tax commitment, but I think it should, part of it should be used for the disposal cost.
You'd probably want to modify
Yeah.
that to a larger amount.
What?
You probably want to modify the surplus amount.
Modify the surplus amount to 750
750, yeah.
and transferring,
And hold 250,000 for disposal costs, so that now moving forward, we can have the necessary discussions about how we're going to dispose of our trash in a way that we're not taking advantage of the system, and it's more fair for everyone.
I would be curious about how our department head feels about this. We did talk about it. There was some discussion around things happening too quickly, maybe not happening. Yeah, there's different variables that we could discuss. But yeah, I'd be curious on how you feel. And then also, we've been talking about this since I've been on the board. So that's 2 years. Like, how long do you guys want to talk about it? So, I mean, either we do it or we don't,
I want to see the price comparison of having a contractor come and take everybody's trash. Maybe it's cheaper than having the dump.
okay, so
Transfer station.
Transfer station.
I'm not going to lie, I was very shocked at the cuts that were made during the budget meeting. I had not put that cut into my budget. I am leery on doing it this fiscal year. I definitely want more public input. I want to see where the new EPR laws are going to be, because that's it's a state law that was passed, that we will actually be getting paid money to recycle municipalities if they continue to recycle. Those are the new EPR laws. Please feel free to read through them, and I can get somebody here
If we
for a
spent
presentation.
50,000 On that, what would be the return?
As far as what? I'm
If
sorry.
we spent 50,000 on recycling, what would be the return on that?
That is part of the EPR laws, and I would have to have somebody from NRC come and discuss that with you. They have all the numbers and everything like that. Yep.
That law just passed January 26, and then
Yes.
reimbursements start
2027.
27.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's just a matter of us reporting what we're handling for recyclables for the town. It's for municipalities that have to deal with disposal and recycling and handling of materials.
Are the percentages in the law?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, they're just figuring all the numbers and who's going to keep track of what right now. So it's the extended producer responsibility law. The other thing I could suggest is if you do want to do it out of surplus, that's way beyond my pay grade, or if you just want to change whatever article is for the solid waste budget, absolutely, I will provide any more information that anybody wants. I've never once said that it is free to recycle. The only way you're ever going to get that is if every person that lives in this town recycled every little piece that they could. It's never been free, but it's been the right thing to do. So our landfills are filling up. That's something that DEP is pushing every single day. So that is my stance on it. You guys make the final decisions on if you want to take some more time, do more studies, have more experts here, get more information. That's completely up to you. I will do whatever you guys tell me to do.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Randy,
Can I-
excuse me, I'm sorry. Randy,
You keep asking what the return is. What's the return on anything that municipalities do? We're not in the business to make money. Everyone knows that. You know what the return is? It's the right thing to do. And it's keeping the tax dollars spread out equally the way it should be. That's your return. Your return is saving some poor old lady from having to dip into her Social Security money another $50 a month. That's what the return is. It's the right thing to do. No different than the police department, the right decision to have a good police department. It's the right decision to have a good fire department. Pollution control department is absolutely no different. That's what you folks should look at. It's the same exact thing. The return is services to the taxpayers.
thank you, Randy. Yes, Gail?
So if we have that 250,000 taken out of, it's out of the budget. So I've just heard rumor on the street, they're going to come and they're going to table that article. But I don't hear much in my office, so it is what it is. But the best thing to do right now is take that $1 million and have 750 go to reduce your taxation, and have 250 go towards the solid waste management operating account. That way, you're not going to have to come back for a second town meeting. So I'm just saying, and I think it would be easy to word it, and at least you've got taxation reduction, and you've got that money to go to the solid waste transfer station, and I think it's a good way to go, or we're going to be looking at not pretty things.
Very good, Amber.
Since 2018, the surplus usage
Amber.
has earmarked expenses to it. And so it's almost an annual common thing of, okay, we have X amount for surplus use, and this is how we want to spend it. So it's nothing out of the ordinary.
No,
Backing that
it's
down.
clearly reasonable, and I agree with Gail. This is how we should proceed. And yes, Amber?
Donnie, can you give us information about what the total surplus figure ended up looking like?
of our total? Well, the million is what we've gone back and forth, because some of the funds are unaudited. So we've gone back and forth with the auditor who's auditing right now, and he's worked in the past with providing these surplus numbers. And so we have a conservative figure in there and the million is a conservative figure.
Yes, Donna.
I'm sensing that, I'm sensing that the problem is that when we sat as a group, we all decided to decrease the public solid waste disposal budget by 250, which brought it down to the 1,060,000, right? We can, through this process we're in right now, simply go to that warrant, which is what, number 34, was it?
For solid waste?
Solid waste, yes. Can't we just amend the warrant itself to put the 250 back in and keep it tying back to what the original budget was and keep the surplus, just the surplus? It offsets it and it makes everything tie back to what it was.
So I agree with that. It's just, I've talked to various people, and they say you can't do it. All I've been trying to do is figure out ways to even this up. If it can be done, that's the most simplest way to do it.
If you want a separate vote on that, you could add a warrant article just for that 250. And then everyone who shows up at town meeting and wants a vote can vote on that specifically. Or you can tie it up in the surplus use, and then they vote on the use of the surplus with your condition in there. The budget committee's surplus recommendation might be different. But creating a separate warrant article would split that up, divide it, and have a direct vote by voters on if they want to have private commercial fees subsidized or not, you know? I'd recommend doing a separate warrant article.
Okay.
And
And that will give you the feel of how the town feels about charging for the use of the solid waste. I
Right.
mean,
Put
right
it
there,
to the
you'll
voter.
get your surplus,
Put it to
your
the voter.
survey.
But
Yeah,
with that, you can't go back and get that surplus usage, right? So if that passes, and you
Keep
spend
the
$1 million in
right.
surplus
That's
to
true.
offset, you won't realize those savings in your tax commitment. So it's kind of a
That's true.
catch-22 with it, depending how the vote goes.
Yep, that's true.
Now, the budget committee could put something differently in there for the surplus use, which we typically recommend to give two options to voters of how much of a tax commitment do you want to, or reduction do you want to see? And we've tried to separate that from select board recommendations to give them two options. So we could look at that when it gets to us. But that would be if you entertain creating a new warrant article, which I don't know what that does for staff. I don't know what that does for timing of,
Tonight is the last chance to revise the warrant, which is
so
why.
I'm trying not to throw a curveball at you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
but just talk out loud.
So forgive me, I don't know the regulations, Gail, or whatever. We cannot amend a warrant that we have in front of us as we presented it through that meeting. We can't fix that today, right? The warrant is the warrant. We can't fix what we want to put on that warrant as of today?
That's not my expertise.
Well, you have time to modify it tonight.
Right, that's what I was thinking, is that
Is that, I don't know
if
if
we
Kara's
have a
here.
warrant here that we all agreed to at that meeting as a group, we are now having our discussions now that we have this surplus number, that we can now go to each of these warrants and make an amendment to those warrants, vote on it. No, we can't?
I don't believe so. Have these been posted?
No.
No.
No, that's it.
They're gonna be
That's
done
it.
tonight.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that will happen is if we do some fandangling with the warrant tonight, then what's going to happen is it's not going to get signed tonight because there has to be changes. We'll be waiting for the next meeting, which is on the 26th, which means the books are going to the printers sometime this week, and the warrant will not be in the book.
Okay.
But it has happened before where we photocopy it and put it in the book. So it does get this, most of the time it's part of the book. It's binded and everything. But the almost easiest way is to take your surplus.
Okay,
It's $1 million.
okay.
750 to reduce taxation, that's 100,000 less than last year. And 250 to take care of the problem with the transfer station. And then that way, that money, if you amend her warrant article, it's coming out of taxation. If it's coming out of surplus, it's not coming out of taxation. And then you can actually see how that's going to affect the town. But,
Okay.
I mean, I'm just suggesting.
I do like that solution, if you all are willing to amend your warrant. I like that solution because, yeah,
We have to vote this one down though, right?
yes.
We have to vote it down and then make a new motion to change the surplus to 750, put 250 towards.
Okay, I have a, say, what's your motion?
Well, we have to vote this motion down because we have a motion
I
on
got
the
it.
table.
Okay,
now,
so
we
we're
gotta
gonna vote this
one
down. Gotcha. Okay. So we're now gonna vote on discussion and decision regarding allocation of $1 million surplus to reduce the tax commitment. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. So now we have a new, basically, not an amendment, but just a new decision.
Make
A
a
new
motion.
motion.
New motion.
Okay, so should I make the motion, or I have a motion here. Move that the select board place an article on the June town meeting warrant to authorize the use of up to $250,000 from available unassigned balance or surplus to offset fiscal year 2027 solid waste and recycling disposal costs. And if needed, subject to voter approval at the town meeting.
That's not, I think, what, that's not what you said,
Needs to
Donna,
add up to
was
$1
it?
million, so you need to have the other.
Oh, then the other $750,000 will go to reduce taxes. You don't
Approve
want this
is written.
stuff overnight.
You're seconding.
Approved is,
Yeah.
Was that clear enough? Yeah, I'll second it, yeah.
okay.
All right, he was second.
What's the implication if they vote, if it's a no vote?
Usually they vote for a tax reduction. I think the budget committee, I'd like to see $1 million to offset taxes with no reserve funding for what? So if you want to go with the select board's recommendation of $250,000 to offset the solid waste, or you want a larger reduction in your tax commitment, which is what I'd recommend from our group, then it's up to a motion on the floor.
I'd like to see both, I'd like to see 2 articles, and it's a lot of language, but, you know, one would say that, you know, $1 million is gonna go to offset the tax base, the other one would say $750,000 is gonna go to offset the tax base, and $250,000 is gonna go to, you know, the transfer station discussion.
I guess there can't be 2 warrants, so Christian's suggestion presents 2 options for the taxpayer to consider on the night of town meeting.
Sounds like one option to me.
No, we are, the motion on the table now with the second is a vote on 750, 250.
Okay.
Christian is suggesting he would posit a vote of the budget committee to do $1 million and 0. Now, I don't know how y'all are gonna vote, I don't want to speak for you.
Right.
You was gonna do $1 million and 0 without amending the solid waste budget?
That's what I'd like to see. It gives,
Keep the 250 to.
you know, I think in one sense, we cut that budget, and then on the back end are putting it right back in.
We are.
And I get the timing of it. I don't want to get in the weeds. I have a graduating senior I got to go see, like, in 2 minutes. Skowhegan's the only town that pays for this. The only town. What other towns do?
Anson, Madison.
That's not what was presented to us.
It's not a true statement.
Our discussion was these businesses service multiple areas and will probably pad and dilute this price increase within all their customers, shifting not just shifting our tax savings and increase in commercial customers into multiple towns are a regional effect. But at $500,000 a year, you look at this.
700.
Was it 7? This is my 15th budget, and there's either we're cutting jobs or just going up. I remember the $9 million budgets, and we're at 19.4 or 5. Wasn't that long ago. Well, maybe it was. And it's a snowball effect that we cannot get out of the way. And unless we lay off 1 or 2 employees per department, which I'm not suggesting, but it's very tight. I think this budget was very thoughtful from all the department heads. I think this was a good budget. I'm looking at the school budget. Is that up 7%?
2%. They're staying in 2.
Okay. So I get both ends, but I think if we look at a full $1 million for a tax decrease, that gives voters upstairs 2 options, and then, depending how the votes go.
I just think that there's a knee-jerk reaction at a budget meeting without anybody's input, without doing any homework, and you're gonna penalize.
That's not true.
That's
There's been
not true.
workshops
Yeah.
for a lot of times, so.
We've
There's
had
been
2
multiple
public workshops on this budget. We started talking about this when I was first elected, almost 2 years ago. This line item in the solid waste recycling budget of disposal costs is at $670,000 right now, with locked-in commitments to be paying more and more every year. And the issue for folks who see this a different way is that there is 0 natural consequence to not recycling, which is the town's ordinance right now.
Doing us a favor.
So the dumpsters are filling up with cardboard in business locations.
Nobody's doing us a favor.
Who's doing us a favor?
The people that are not spending all that money, it costs the town $599 a ton average to produce recycled materials.
I
We
understand.
can put it all in the garbage for $78 a ton.
I understand
And
you.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't try to recycle, but we shouldn't punish everybody.
We
that
are.
Has, it makes 0 sense to me. 0 sense. If you had a business and you lost $380,000 a year, how long are you gonna be open? Not very long.
I own a business, Corey, and I pay twice as much as I need to for 2 dumpsters. One, so the cardboard will go to the transfer station because it's the right thing to do, whether it's profitable or not, and the other to take trash away. And I don't want the taxpayer of Skowhegan paying for me to do the wrong thing. That's
I'd like to share a data point. In 2010, population was 8,589. The entire transfer station budget was just over $700,000. In 2026, the latest population is 8,680. And our tipping fee alone is almost the price of the entire transfer station budget 16 years ago. And so what does that tell you? It tells you that the volume coming through is from commercial entities. And residential payers are subsidizing commercial trash.
to the tune of 75% of that $670,000 is commercial tipping fees. So the taxpayer is subsidizing 75% of the trash for businesses to not be sorted and to go.
And that's the problem with the property tax base. So you could have a house that's $500,000 and you produce 2 bags of trash a week, and there could be a house or a business worth $100,000 producing any amount. There's no control. And so there's 2 problems. There's abuse in the system right now, and then there's also the DEP directive, and that's where these new laws are coming out that were passed in 2026. And so the town may not do it this year, but it's coming down the line, and it puts the town in a better place because this is a DEP directive, and then it's also, we're losing our shirt on these tipping fees, and they're only going up.
We're losing more money on the recyclables.
and that's why these new laws were passed, to help offset. And so what you're not considering either is the amount of grants that we're getting to offset this waste stream. And this is something that's increasing with the DEP. It's not going away. And so we can address it now or we can address it later.
I think we need to be respectful of the budget committee that's come in here, and they're kind of off time and has made themselves
Yeah, I gotta get
available
out
to
of here.
us. Let's get back on track here and address this number 2 and get
All right.
something going on this.
So we have, it's up to Budget Committee for a motion on the use of the surplus.
Well, we didn't finish the vote here.
Have you not finished your vote?
No.
I'm not prepared to vote until we have a very clear description of what we're voting on.
Motion, a very clear
Thank you.
motion.
Yep, that's
If your article for surplus is $1 million, it can be in there 750 to reduce taxation, 250 for solid waste, whatever. And on the floor, they can make a motion that it all go, because you're not taking away the $1 million. You're just saying 750 would go here and 250 would go here. As long as you're not going up, it's a million. So you can have that in there. And then if you have that in there, it's not going to come into taxation. And then you can do a study and see if this is the right thing to do, and
Right.
just, because it's going to be difficult to redo that word.
So Kevin made a motion to allocate $750,000 from the surplus to reduce the tax commitment and $250,000 from the surplus to reduce the solid waste and recycling
Can I just say one thing,
expenses.
if possible? If it gets voted down up there and they vote to put all 1 million towards taxation and the solid waste budget is still cut by 250,000, and you guys decide not to make that change in the fiscal year, we're gonna be in big trouble. I'm just letting you know. So it all depends on the voters. You will have to have another town meeting to come up with 250,000, because our disposal budget is pretty close to the penny from what we're spending.
I thought-
I'm just giving you a forewarning, please.
I thought that was broken into 6 months of
Yes.
public
Our-
notification. And-
Right.
And then that change on the town covering those tipping fees was going to be implemented.
That's correct. Our
Right,
projection-
but
It's
if
split in
things
two.
change, and obviously taxpayers are not liking the idea, if that changes, and the current select board decides, nope, we're not gonna go this route anymore, we're gonna be in trouble, because that 250 was figured into our disposal cost for an entire year. So if it does not change, and people decide to change their mind and still keep paying all the tipping fees, we're gonna be in trouble, just to let you know.
It's going to have to be something that is dealt with over this year coming up. But at least people
Right.
realize the situation, they'll take it more serious.
And we can
Hopefully
do more
we can come up with
studies.
A more efficient way to deal with this. So
Is it-
we're ready to vote.
Is it possible, like you had mentioned, changing that warrant article for the solid waste department and not relying on that surplus vote from the taxpayers, just in case things change?
We could very well end up in a bad situation if we do it like this. I think we do.
I just want to make sure we can pay the bills up
I don't
there,
know
that's
how-
all.
Can we change the warrant? Because I don't know. Can we or not?
I suggest adding a new warrant article separate, if you have time.
To address surplus?
Address the 250.
Out of,
I'm not in favor
out
of
the
changing the
budget.
warrant article. I think the taxpayer needs to
So add one.
vote with their hands here.
Even if they add one, they're still going to vote, right?
And if it gets voted down, then we're still in trouble.
Yeah. But at least it goes to the voters. The voters make the decision. Hopefully, lots of people will show up.
If it's in with surplus though, it's not going into taxation. I mean, we used $1 million last year. We did 850 and then 150 in highway.
Okay.
So we did $1 million last year. I would doubt, but I don't want to assume because we know what happens.
Okay, can we have the exact wording of this?
I'll try.
Ask me my questions.
Okay. I'd just like to know, the trash haulers that come into town, do they bring their recyclables up to the transfer station? They do? What do they bring up there?
They do not,
They
unless.
do not, they do not.
Unless you
They-
pay for an entirely separate dumpster for
Okay.
cardboard only.
So where does all the recyclables that they pick up, where do they go?
To Norwich Walk.
To Norwich
No,
Walk?
if you have 2 dumpsters,
No, I'm just saying, if you have, in other words, a private person putting his trash out.
that's mixing
where
it in
does
the
Yeah,
dumpster,
they put it in the trash bag and they put it on the curb. Where's it go? Waste Management, right?
yeah,
And we pick up the whole tab?
yeah, yeah.
So we don't require the private haulers to separate like they do
There
in
is
Waterville?
no, if you read the ordinance,
No,
the contracts with haulers does not say anything about recycling. It is up to the resident of Skowhegan
What?
to sort. The hauler does not have to verify that their load is sorted.
The last
Doesn't
time,
happen.
the last time anybody brought any recyclables up there from a hauler was 5 years ago, and the guy's dead now, and Gregory's bought his business. And that's the last time that they
So
brought
we
any
have-
recyclables up there. So,
Get Packer trucks of cardboard.
That's right.
From all the haulers that they pick up if a business has a
Cardboard.
separate cardboard, just cardboard.
just cardboard, and the rest of it goes to
The rest goes in the trash, yes.
So they don't pay any, that's a tipping fee over there.
And unless the business is willing to pay twice for 2 dumpsters,
Yeah.
then it's all getting mixed in the dumpster and it's going up to Waste Management. So
So we're
Cindy
paying-
has presented in her workshops photos of trash from dumpsters in Skowhegan that is not sorted, that are ending up at Waste Management.
Yeah, so we're paying, when the haulers take it over to Waste Management, we're paying the whole tipping fee.
All the taxpayers in Skowhegan are paying for that.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
And they got pretty good.
Okay, I've got some wording. I move we allocate $250,000 of the surplus to the disposal cost at the sanitation department and $750,000 to reduce the general tax fund commitment.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Motion carries 4-1.
Budget Committee, we have a motion on surplus use.
Do you want to talk about this before we make a motion, or?
Yeah, I'd open it for discussion.
Thoughts?
I think quickly, available surplus, 1.8 million and change. I'm always a fan of taking as much as we can. Either we underspent or overtaxed in the previous budget, so returning that. I think with the audit situation, everything that's gone on this year, I don't think we want to dabble with much more than $1 million. So I think that's a safe number. We've had our almost 10 years of budgets with earmarked use of surplus, with a small fraction of that to reduce tax commitment. I'd personally like to see $1 million to offset the tax commitment this year. That would give the voters upstairs 2 options. If you want to push back on the solid waste, go with the Select Board's recommendation. If you want just a larger tax reduction, go with ours. I can see both ends, and I can see, obviously, the business community, which I work for and represent. But this is a hard, not a hard year, but just a hard process. And I think we've all felt it in our increased taxes. And we rarely get a chance to look at reducing a department budget without making employee cuts. And, it was a hard process, but I think this is the right one this year.
So did you make a motion?
No.
No,
we're
I'm
just talking
entertaining
about-
one.
He's just saying his thought.
I have great faith in the department head And $250,000 does seem like a lot of money, but there's so much grant money out there that you can go after for this particular department. And
Sorry, not sorry to interrupt, but just not for disposal.
even at our budget meeting, we had bottled waters. And when I finished mine, I went to put it somewhere to recycle it. And they were all in the garbage. And it just seems like our town can do better. And I understand that it costs to throw it away, but it does, it's one of those things that you have to make that choice to recycle, and there has to be a way to pay for it. And I honestly do have great faith in you as a department head that we can make that $250,000 up. And it has to start somewhere. We have been talking about this for years now. It's not easy, but it's such an important thing that there has to be a way.
If I recall correctly, and if I'm wrong, please let me know, because this is what's affecting my thought process in this use of these funds and the cutting of the $250,000. My understanding is that a lot of the dump pickup people,
Commercial haulers.
trash haulers, there you go, thank you. The haulers, they go in, and they go from one, they start in one town and go down and pick up. And then, because we don't charge for the tipping fee, they dump in our dump. Is that correct, Cindy? Is that my understanding correct?
That's what I understood as well.
Yeah. So this, my thought process was that we cut this 250 and put this on the haulers. Unfortunately, it does go on to the other commercial businesses within Skowhegan as well. But this would try to bring it so that Skowhegan is not paying for the dump, the trash from Norridgewock or Anson or Athens or all the surrounding towns, and then we're paying for it.
Why not? We're paying for their recycles.
So in order to cut the budget somewhere and to make it fair, in my mind, for the Skowhegan taxpayers, we need to have those other towns contribute to the cost. And this was one way of doing that. Now, we can keep on paying for it, and we can, my understanding was the prediction was it's going to be 900 and some thousand within the year or two. So we cannot keep carrying this. We have to have the other towns start contributing to it. So this was our way of making that happen.
That will work. Not.
What would happen tomorrow if the town of Skowhegan went belly up? These haulers would have
Am I wrong in my assumptions or my thoughts?
Little bit of difference than what was discussed.
Okay.
From what I had said, there is no guarantee that any trash that's going to waste management is definitely Skowhegan trash. There was no way to make a guarantee of that. That was all I had said. I'm not accusing anybody for anything, but that is what I'm saying, and I have searched loads, and I have found trash from other towns that have been billed to Skowhegan. That's what I had explained. So there is no guarantee, there is no way to provide a guarantee that we are only paying for our taxpayers' trash, is what I had explained.
Yes.
And in other towns, it doesn't matter. The customer is charged that weekly, monthly.
I know that Madison Anson pays their tipping fees for their residents. I looked at their tipping fee budgets. Anson's is $170,000. Madison is around $280,000, I believe. That's what their disposal cost budgets are for their towns.
And we're 600, almost 700,000.
Over 600,000, inching towards 700,000.
And the prediction is that that is going to significantly.
Our rates every year go up with waste management, per ton rates. Yep.
We're twice as much as Madison, and we got twice as many people. That math kind of figures out.
And the data that you presented us in the prior two workshops to the select board was of cities and towns of comparable size, both rural and urban, of
Correct.
similar size.
That's why I
When we
picked
say that
towns.
No other towns of similar size are
Right.
this tab that is of comparable size.
That's why the report that I had originally presented to the select board in the workshops, I pulled up the population list from the state of Maine. Skowhegan in the middle, the towns just below it, the towns just above it, and what they did. That's why I provided those specific towns, because they had similar populations as Skowhegan.
And I think, I just want to make one more point on Donna's point that, no, we can't police mixed trash, but what we do know is if we have contracts with commercial haulers, and we are the only community of our size in a region that is subsidizing those tipping fees, then we are subsidizing the lower cost of commercial hauling for everyone serviced by
Right.
those.
And I do just want to make it clear, because I think there's some confusion. When we say commercial haulers, they don't just pick up commercial trash. They are trash haulers. So they could pick up commercial, apartment buildings, residents, all in one load. So I just want to make sure that's clear. They're not just picking up commercial. They're not just commercial haulers.
No,
so.
and can you give us an example, Cindy, just because I understand the concern and the argument that this could trickle through to the elderly on a fixed income. But
Absolutely.
examples of dumpster users, I'll stop using the term commercial haulers, in this town include?
As far as, what do you mean, Amber? I'm sorry.
We're talking the Tractor Supplies, the Walmarts, the hospitals.
We are. Any business,
The apartment building owners.
any nonprofits, any business that a commercial hauler picks up and goes to Norwalk and says this load is from Skowhegan, that is what we're paying for. It could be residential, big business, little business. It could be anything that they're picking up.
Any data on who has 2 dumpsters and who doesn't have 2 dumpsters?
I do. Out of all the route sheets that I've received, there were a total of 40 cardboard dumpsters at businesses in Skowhegan.
And how many dumpsters?
I don't know how many exact dumpsters. I counted the recyclable
Yeah, I was
dumpsters,
just curious
which
if
is
you
40
percentage, but
throughout the whole town for businesses.
yeah,
That's
that
what
would be my concern.
the haulers provided,
I know there
so.
were some concerns around like landlords having to raise rent and,
Yes.
and you gave us some estimates that were a little bit different than Randy's from the haulers that you spoke to, like to the tune of 90%, I think. But it would be nice to see the costs go on to, the larger organizations like the Walmarts, like the hospital.
Yeah,
like-
and unfortunately, the only way you can guarantee that is if a hauler is willing to change their route completely and make multiple trips to Skowhegan.
Right. And
I will say, I have talked to other commercial haulers, actually talked to one today. His thing, I asked him what would be the effect if Skowhegan stopped paying tipping fees. He said for hand pickup, like a couple trash bags, really wouldn't see a difference. Might see a couple dollars difference in a 2-yard dumpster. He said the majority of the increase from them having to pay the tip, or the bills going to the hauler, would be big businesses that have bigger than 2-yard dumpsters, or restaurants, because restaurant trash is very heavy. He also said, the one that I spoke with today, said that it would actually make his routing more efficient. Because right now, if he has to drive to a town above Skowhegan, he has to drive through Skowhegan, go pick up that town, drive through Skowhegan again without picking anything up from his customers in Skowhegan, So it's multiple trips for these haulers sometimes. So that is what I've been told from other haulers.
And in the end, and I realize there's constraints for all kinds of situations, we all have to make our own choice.
Yes.
It's $10 to get a transfer station sticker right now.
$10, and it's good for 2 years.
So $10 for 2 years of personal access to transfer station, trash, and recycling.
And recycling and brush and wood and composting and all of it that we offer up there. My concern is I just want to make sure, like I said before, if you guys cut the budget, there's no wiggle room in what, if we're going to continue to pay for all the tipping fees, there's no wiggle room. It's going to kind of go back to what I had originally put in my budget. So that was just my main concern. I just want to make sure everybody understands that, so.
I have one quick question.
I got one too. You go first, Randy, I got one after.
Sure.
How many new employees does this budget entail this year? How many new employees do we plan on hiring that you folks have approved in any department?
That's not my question.
I think it's 1
Yeah,
in fire.
and fire was 1.
I thought it was 2.
One.
No,
No, 1.
it was 2
One
asked for,
approved, we
1
got one.
approved.
So, what's it cost that? I bet $150,000
110
with benefits?
with benefits.
For how long?
The year.
1 year. Guarantee you. Because the average firefighter right now is not paid $110,000 a year with overtime. Not even close. Not even close. So let's think about that. That's 1/2 of the money you cut out of solid waste.
I think we were trying to compromise, Randy, in considering this a partial year and give time for this transition to happen, because if 75% of the $670,000 of disposal costs is commercial, what's the term you would like to use, trash haulers? Then that's $500,000 a year. We didn't cut $500,000 out in perpetuity. We cut $250,000 out in hopes that in 6 months' time, we can start this transition in communications. So,
Excuse me. I just would like to move the question. I think we're beating this to death, and we have a long,
Corey, real quick.
A couple things. So one thing is, so if the commercial haul is taking 75% of the trash, then we're only using the transfer station for 25% of the trash, is that cost effective? No. But my second point is we're talking about $250,000 out of the transfer station, right? On a $100,000 valuation of somebody's house, how much is it going to reduce their taxes?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Right? It's not. Like, this is why I think this is not a very smart decision in even business or community-friendly decision, because it's gonna, on a $100,000 home, it's $15 if you do the math. What are we arguing over?
Well, we could say that for the whole budget. I mean, it's.
But I'm just saying, you're taking away, in my personal opinion, privileges that we're paying, that we're gonna pay for other people. It's not okay for them to pay to help the businesses, but it's okay for the businesses to keep paying that tax for the other people. It's not, if we're gonna do that, then we might as well start talking about the sewer system and all of it. I just think we're going down a bad road by cutting that aspect out of it.
can we move the question?
Yep. All right, we're still looking. Any other discussion from the committee?
I don't think so. Do you have anything?
We're still looking for a motion.
Do you want to make a move? Go ahead. I move that we use the $1 million of surplus against the taxes.
All right, so we have a motion for $1 million to reduce tax commitment. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Donna and Amy. Any other discussion? I think it just gives choice upstairs, and I've always fought for that for 14 or 15 years, so I'll vote in favor. All those in favor? Carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Budget Committee.
Are we excused for the night?
I believe so.
I gotta get to the high school.
do we need any other adjustments to your recommendation on community service organizations under number 19?
I did,
We didn't make any adjustments like that, because it's on there, right?
we had,
Is it Article 26?
it starts on Article 37.
If you do, we should move item 19 up and take it up. If you have to get out of here,
Let's
then
take it up.
you have quorum still.
We still will with 4.
That's what I mean. If you have to go, we could,
I've missed it already, so I'll go in a little bit. What the budget committee's thought was trying to flat fund these service requests this year. With that said, we did approve a $800 increase with Spectrum Generations. What else was it? I think that was it. Kicking is essentially zero funding, multiple requests, which sent it back to TIF committee, and then we don't want to get back into that procedure, but, so we can vote on those individually. We don't necessarily need to. We've essentially in the warrants, they'll stay as is now. And you're asking if there's any changes in
Right.
the warrant description and the
right,
votes.
from the all-day budget meeting, we have a select board and a budget committee recommendation on the amount of funding from taxation and from the downtown TIF.
Yep.
So if those are apt to change, we would want you to have the opportunity to alter your suggestion.
A couple inaccuracies for Article 37. Well, no, we just sent it down to TIF. So Main Street, if we were to flat fund, wouldn't have mattered. There was a 4-1 vote in Article 38. Budget Committee 4-1. That was unanimous, 5-0. You might want to change that.
I'm sorry, which one are you on?
Article 38,
30.
the chamber.
We voted the same.
It was 4-0, 5-0 is what I had.
Yep.
Yep, so that should be 5-0 for Budget Committee. And then 41, Select Board a 4-0 vote, and the Budget Committee. Budget Committee actually defeated that, I believe, right? We voted for a flat fund, 3-2 on hospice. That didn't get sent to the TIF committee. So it's just a typo in the.
So say that again, what article?
Article 41 should be Budget Committee with a 3-2 vote for $30,000
Oh.
for hospice.
We voted the flat fund at 30,000.
And then that's all I had.
So the bigger questions around the $45,000 discrepancy.
So if we're moving item 19 up, let's get all the revisions to the warrant on the table now, and then we'll summarize it.
Perfect. Are we going to start with the community services, or?
Go ahead with ones you wanted to change, and then I have a couple just typos.
So it would be to amend the library, would be amend Article 34 to ask voters whether to approve the sum of $208,000 from the general taxation for the funding of the Skowhegan Free Public Library.
And then we'd have some language in there around, or we would revote who supports that.
Yes. We could vote on that.
So you're looking at a full 208 from taxation
Yes,
to remove that 25.
yes.
I'll second that.
Okay. First from Whitney, second from Amber.
So we don't need to talk about the language going in there? Do we need
The,
to?
the discussion point and the reason why I will support that is that the only case we can make that a portion of the Skowhegan Library's budget meets the TIF criteria is that it provides high-speed internet access and Wi-Fi for community access. And that is a great service that is also in the TIF contract. for things we can support, but it's a very minor part of their budget. So I'm okay with fully funding through taxation this particular one, and I think Whitney's goal is to adjust a couple of these others to get to the 190.
Yeah, my point is, I would like to tell the public that I support them voting yes, that they should go ahead and.
That's what we're revising.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that it won't say, select board voted to flat fund.
No, it'll be, the select board is.
Gotcha, okay, sorry.
Recommending
I made a
208 from
motion
taxation.
I just made a motion for 208.
Yeah,
So if somebody, and Amber seconded it, we can discuss it.
yeah.
Yeah, just take that line out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor? That was easy.
So then, Budget Committee, do we have a motion on Article 34?
I move that we accept the 208,000 application from Skowhegan Free Public Library and have it funded through the
Taxation?
budget.
Okay.
Taxation, right.
We have a second?
Second.
Dawn and Jean, any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0 carries.
And Whitney, what was your other one to,
The next one would be Lights Up Production, Article 46. Move to amend Article 46 to ask voters whether to approve the sum of $50,000 for Lights Up Production, with $30,000 to come from the Downtown TIF Fund and $20,000 to come from general taxation.
I second that.
First from Whitney, second from Amber. Discussion.
The 30 was from,
30.
30 from the TIF, 20 from the tax.
okay.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
We have a motion from Budget Committee on Article 46.
20 from taxation.
20 from taxation, 30 from TIF.
I'll
Jean,
second that.
seconded by Donna. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0 carries.
There's one more amendment I'd like to do. It would be Article 38, Chamber of Commerce. It currently has $25,000 from the downtown TIF and zero funding from the general taxation. I would like to change that and ask voters to approve the sum of $35,000 for the Chamber of Commerce, with $25,000 to come from the downtown TIF fund and the remaining $10,000 to come from the general taxation fund. That would fully fund the chamber for this year.
You would like 10,000 from taxation and 25 from the downtown TIF.
Correct.
Is that their amount of the petition?
Yes.
Yes.
The requested amount is 35.
That's my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Elijah. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
Budget Committee, do you want to vote on this? Article 38?
Last year was 25,000 we gave them, right?
It was, the motion was made for 25 last year instead of their 35. So
Right.
they requested 35 last year, and they received 25 from a motion on the floor.
And our motion was to 25, flat fund it.
Yep.
To what they received last year. I like to leave it the way we have
I
it,
move flat funding.
25,000.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Gina,
And
Donna,
repeating.
any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0.
That should cover the community service organizations. The other ones remain the same.
I have one other correction to the warrant.
Yep.
On the second page, there's a typo under the Economic Development and Code Planning line item.
What article?
It's not an article, it's right here. So the line item should read, $404,537, not $531. That jives with the budget notes and the minutes.
Does that change the total, Amber?
Yeah, by $6.
By $6, but it makes it consistent with the minutes and our budget discussion all day.
Very good.
The use of surplus, will that go into Article 48 with a description?
I'm sorry.
The use of the surplus will be in Article 48, I assume? That'll be revised?
That's where it is.
Yep.
That's where it'll stay.
Yes.
And you'll have,
Revised.
yep, okay.
So,
And can I just make a little note of some housekeeping? I want to make it known that Karen Mason, who did that job for 16 years, she has been a valuable piece, and she continues to be as long as she works for the town of Skowhegan. And I feel bad that she gets overlooked at times, because she knows that job, and prior administration did not want to listen to her, and she is responsible for our warrant and our town report book this year, and I do not think she gets the kudos. She is a very smart woman, and she's doing that, plus she's doing her full-time job of getting ready to get us a tax amendment. So she deserves everybody's praise and thanks, because without her, I don't know what any of us would ever do. So I just want to put it out there. I just want to say that.
thank you, Kara.
I second that, Gail.
Thank you.
Whitney, can we just do a quick review of the changes to the warrant to make sure we're all clear? And then
Yes.
I think we're done with number 19.
course.
So we have the revision to the economic development line item on page 2 that should read $404,537. We have, under the community service organizations, Article 34, we have the Select Board with a 5-0 vote recommending $208,000 from taxation, and the Budget Committee a 5-0 vote for the same. We have Article 38 revisions, with the Select Board recommending $10,000 from taxation and $25,000 from the downtown TIF, with a vote of 5-0, and Budget Committee recommending $25,000 flat funding, 5-0 from taxation. We have Article 41, the Select Board recommending tell me again, Whitney, you said 30,000.
This is behavioral health. You got Article 42, is that what you're on? 41?
41, you said 30,000, but their request is 35.
That was the Budget Committee.
Okay, so we're just changing, okay, thank you. So
The Select Board
we're
voted
correcting,
35.
thank you, we're correcting the Budget Committee's vote, which was 3-2 at funding at 30,000.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Right.
And then we have Article 46, Lights Up Productions. We have the Select Board supporting with a 5-0 vote, $20,000 from taxation and $30,000 from the downtown TIF to complete full funding. And the Budget Committee voted on that in the same way, 5-0. Okay, those are all the changes.
Excellent.
Can I just ask one question on Article 26? It's my understanding that the two committees were presented different budgets at the time, and that's why it's a different number, correct? Okay. I just don't want anyone to think that the Budget Committee approved more money.
It did. Yeah, it did.
We took our vote first, and there was a math error, and
Correct.
Tanya
Caught it.
corrected the math error and caught it, and so they have the right number. We could change this here, that would certainly make it clean.
Wait a second.
Um,
26.
So
'Cause I was sure that you guys voted an additional funds in there.
the Budget
No.
Committee is correct. It
We-
was just the
we-
math.
We voted on a mathematically corrected amount.
Yes.
Okay, so the correct amount is,
309,000.
And I'll just verify that in a minute.
I gotta go back to my books.
I remember Tanya bringing that up.
Yep.
She did?
Yeah, we
Okay.
had a typo.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and
You guys had already made your vote, and then when we went to do ours, Tanya had caught the math error, so we voted on the correct amount.
Okay. Okay.
so I move we correct our vote in the warrant to support 309,000.
I have a first from Amber and a second from Elijah. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Is that it?
That's it.
Nice job.
That completes number 19 on the agenda.
All right.
Thank you, Amber.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, folks, coming in. Appreciate it.
Let's get back on.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move to the regular agenda. Discussion and decision, requesting Select Board to choose a Spirit of America recipient.
I move we nominate Bob Haynes for his support at Coburn Park, creating updated infrastructure, repairing broken gazebos and fences, and taking care of felled trees, creating new access points for the community.
Yep. Who was the other nominees?
Patricia Dickey and Deb Tanner.
I was there this weekend and saw some of the work that had been done recently, and I'll second Amber's motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second.
Can I just update people on something? Yeah. Spirit of America was supposed to be done in February. Since it wasn't done in February, the town of Skowhegan is now losing their golden Spirit of America. So I just want to let you know, we can go ahead and do all this, but this should have sailed back in February. So we can go through and do what we need to do, but on, I don't know, a national level or up to the county or whatever, I don't think it's going to go through the channels, but that's for other people to determine. I just want to let you as a board know that.
Yeah, it was raised right after Nick's passing, and it didn't make it to an agenda. This discussion started, it just didn't make it
I
to an
know,
agenda. so-
unfortunately, it was supposed to be taken care of in February.
Yeah.
All right, we got a first and a second. Can somebody, it was Amber, you had the first?
Yep.
Was the second? Amber first, Elijah second. Discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. You raising your hand?
Voting?
5-0. All right, moving on to item 2, discussion and decision requesting the Board of Selectmen, under authority designated by the town's legislative body, vote to approve the 2025-2026 Affordable Housing TIF annual report, thereby certifying that the project continues to meet its public purpose and compliance obligations. However, I do have this.
I move we accept the annual report from KV Cap on the Mary Street Affordable Housing Development District.
Second?
Sorry, I have another report here that was given to me where it's crossed out, so I'm just not quite sure. I never got to
Do
speak
we
with
need
the
to
person.
include Brian with that? Or that's the KV Cap?
Yeah. What is it?
Donnie, Brian's name is on it. It wasn't worded right on the agenda, so we just need permission for Brian to sign it.
For Brian to sign the annual
I believe
report?
so. Is his name on there still?
Yes. Okay, so that's the difference. It's giving Brian the authority to approve this annual report.
Like,
Okay.
You can approve the report, but he has to have permission to sign it.
I'm happy to amend my motion to approve Brian Bellevue and Economic Development to approve and sign the Affordable Housing TIF Annual Report from KVCAP.
I got a first from Amber, a second from Elijah. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
Can I ask a question about that TIF? How many years was that TIF for and the amount?
I have the data, I don't have it on me, I believe it was 30 years.
And do you know the amount?
What the fair market value is right now, or the amount of TIF they got?
The amount of TIF?
Well, I know that they paid 25% into the general tax fund. But I have the data at home, I can show it to you anytime you'd like.
At the end of 30 years, what will the assessment on that building be?
It'll be interesting, again, you have to look at the report, it doesn't look like a normal report that I've seen in the past, so I don't want to speak about it without showing it to you.
Thank you.
And this report that we're approving tonight is basically just verifying the number of existing affordable housing units.
Okay. We're all going to move on to item 3, discussion and decision approving Donnie Zaleski to sign printer lease and maintenance agreement with Visual Edge IT.
Approve as written.
Second.
First from Ethan and a second from Kevin. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 4, discussion and decision to transfer $75,000 from the winter purchase sand, salt, and CP account number 25-033525 to the summer/repairs and maintenance road maintenance account number 25-01-30-85.
Approve as written.
First from Ethan,
Second.
second from Kevin. All those in favor? I did you a favor there. Item 5, discussion and decision to purchase a 1999 Johnston 3000 mechanical street sweeper as a replacement for the 2000 Johnston mechanical street sweeper and to expend an amount of $4,995 from the capital reserve account, Public Works Equipment Vehicle Purchase. Do I have a motion?
So moved, as written.
First from Amber,
I'll second it with some discussion.
second from Kevin. Any discussion?
Yeah, I need to have some details here while we're,
Replacing it with an old one?
yeah.
Because the one we have has a broken frame.
Yep.
So we're going to keep that one as parts machine, the same exact machine. The one we are buying has a stainless steel hopper. Our hopper's got holes all through it. We've patched it up a few times. I think it's a good deal. It comes from down south. I think we can get 3-4 more years out of this other one or more
3 or 4 years out of this one.
for $5,000. You know, you're talking $100,000 piece of equipment if you had to buy a brand new one.
Yep,
Or more.
so are we planning or saving for something beyond this one yet, or what's going on? Or do we?
We put money away for equipment every year, but it'll be the Peterbilt that we replace next, which we use a lot more. This one's more of picks up the bulk of everything it's for the more thick sand and stuff like that at the beginning of the season.
So we have just the one unit then?
We have 2 units.
We have 2 units.
Well, we'll have 3 now because we're going to use one for parts. But we have a Peterbilt that has a vacuum truck. It's a vacuum one. This one's a mechanical one. Mechanical one's got a belt, puts it in the middle and picks it up.
Okay. All right.
I think it's a good deal. It's a good piece of equipment, little money.
How many hours?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's not a ton. We had to put brakes on it. That's all it needed. Tires will go off from the one we have. The brushes are good on the one we have. It's just the frame's busted. We can't get any more stickers on it. So and it's not fixable to weld and be safe, I guess.
All right.
I just don't want to see it broken in half in the middle of the bridges, and we'll make the papers.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Jason. Discussion decision granting permission to CMP to maintain poles, buried cables, conduit, and transformers, together with attached facilities and appurtenances over, under, along, or across certain highways and public roads, starting point approximately 624 feet, Dudley Corner Road, Notch Road, and then you've got Notch Road direction northeasterly. I guess,
Approved is right.
This has been, oh,
We
sorry,
just-
go ahead.
Yep.
Send you-
Yeah, I'll second it. Yep.
Ethan first, Kevin second. Discussion.
I know Jason just left, but he did, there's a bunch of signatures that are needed on this form, and Jason did sign off on it, and Aaron Crocker did sign off on it, so.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 7, discussion and decision to approve warrant and notice of election calling Main School Administrative District Number 54, budget validation referendum.
So moved.
First from Amber,
Second?
second from Kevin. Discussion.
We do this every year, but this is for their vote that they're gonna have on the same day as our election. We have to have these warrants signed by you as our select board, and then they get posted around the town. This year, we've got the budget, and we also have a cost.
Fund sharing.
Yes, a fund sharing, so there's two
There are
warrants. This one and the next one.
And you'll explain the difference when we get to the next one?
This
This is the budget validation,
This
and the
is
next one is
budget.
just a referendum.
Yeah, it's for cost sharing, something that they've been working on.
Okay.
Amy can probably tell you more about it.
I can speak to it too.
Kevin and I sat on the committee.
Yes.
For Kevin.
What it basically boils down to, up to this point in time that I'm aware, was made aware of, because this is my first time around with this, the school budget's been fully based on 100% valuation by the state, not the town valuation. And our portion we get from the state, we have to offset by what the, here we go, what the, our valuation is in comparison to the rest of the towns in the district. So it's just math. And that gets worked out, and what it boils down to is that we've been paying, a significant, our fair share, let's put it that way. Skowhegan has been paying our fair share in the past.
We've been paying more than
67%.
Yeah, I didn't want to come right out and say that. But we have definitely,
If you're on the board, you have to be politically correct. but I would
yeah.
say it.
But it is, we have been paying the lion's share of the district's budget. And the direction that this leads us in is favorable to Skowhegan's taxes being reduced to the school district. So it would be favorable for Skowhegan to see this passed.
Kevin, doesn't it go on population of
No,
towns?
currently it does not, no. It's never been. It's been completely off how the state has valued the town of Skowhegan, their valuation.
And now there's an income
Right up to
component.
this point. There's no, well, as far as how the town evaluates us? I mean,
As
as
the
far as
state-
how the state
yeah,
evaluates us,
yeah,
yes.
Yep, so
There's-
it'll be like because we have a high poverty rate, it looks like we're gonna get a boatload more.
I don't know about a boatload.
That doesn't go into this part of the budget.
Okay.
No.
That goes into this part of the school budget.
I see.
So what we're trying to do, what we're asking the public to vote yes on, is to take our valuation from 100% property valuation to 90% valuation, and the other 10% will be on student population from our town.
Actually, it'll be for student population from the whole district. Each town will have their own student, will have their own student count.
That was
So-
part of the presentation.
Right.
Yes.
So they're breaking it out instead of just all on 1%, they're taking two parameters now, population
Yes.
and valuation.
And there's,
And isn't there a plan to move that to 80-20 at some point?
yes,
After the first 2 years, I think.
after the first 2 years.
Good.
We're gonna do 90-10 first 2 years, and then the third year it will be 80-20, and then it will be set at 80-20 unless the committee reconvenes to change it.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then we have to bring it back to a vote.
Refresh my memory, Amy. How often can we revisit this? Was it
I think we
recommended?
revisit it annually.
It can be revisited annually?
It's an annual revisit at our request.
Okay, all right.
That must have been an interesting meeting.
It was. It was, yes, especially when there are 6 towns involved, because there's no quorum. You got 3, 4, and
Smithfield and Norwich Walk that are getting the highest right now, I believe. And Scott Egan's looking at a $250,000 reduction. Is that fair to say?
something like that, yeah.
Norwich Walk takes the big hit this year, but it will change every year because it's done on that 10% or 20% will be done on how many students from each town. So Norwich Walk will pay, if they have 100 students, they'll pay 10% of those 100 students. And if Skowhegan has 150, we would pay 120 students. It is to Skowhegan's advantage. It will not.
Currently
Yeah,
it
it is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 8, discussion and decision to approve warrant and notice of election to call Maine School Administrative District Number 54 referendum.
Approve as written.
Second.
First from Elijah and a second from Ethan. Discussion.
Just add it.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion and decision to expend the amount not to exceed $300 from the Cemetery Capital Reserve Cemetery Maintenance Designation to purchase 8 American flags for the town cemeteries.
So moved as written.
Second.
I have a first from Kevin and a second from Ethan. Discussion. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, discussion and decision to expend it and to expend an amount not to exceed $600 from the Cemetery Capital Reserve Cemetery Maintenance Designation to purchase 10 sets of braces to repair cemetery stones.
So moved as written.
Second.
First from Kevin, second from Ethan. Discussion. Seeing no, yes.
Is
Janet?
Skylar gonna have to pay whatever that is back?
This,
Yes, that's the word.
We would always seek for restitution and criminal district damages of such a nature, yes.
Not really pay it.
But these were for, he didn't do those, he didn't do those stones.
yeah, this is for general repairs.
Oh, okay.
Yep, this is something separate.
And this is separate from the vote we took at the last meeting for damage.
Yes, it is different, yes.
Yes.
All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. 11, discussion and decision to expend an amount not to exceed $500 from Cemetery Capital Reserve Cemetery Survey Designation to register 8 surveys at Registry of Deeds and purchase storage tubes for the surveys.
So moved as written.
First from Kevin, second from Ethan. Discussion.
It's just for the tubes?
No, it's to record all of our surveys at the registry. And they have to be rolled up, so we need to preserve those.
Yeah.
The cemetery committee is getting ready, and they have all their ducks in a row for when I leave the building.
Okay, that's great. I was just thinking those are really.
Is that right, Gene?
Surveys.
Do you now have all the graves mapped out, including the one up in, off of Madison Ave on Walton Court?
What do you mean, all, like, In the.
There was a period of time apparently that you didn't have the graves mapped out.
Yeah, I think
You
they're,
didn't-
I
did you-
think they all are now.
They are, okay.
Right. Right.
All right, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 12, discussion and decision to award the bid to Sackett and Brake to survey 3 town cemeteries, Pooler, Old Bloomfield, and Larone, and expend an amount not to exceed $7,900 from cemetery capital reserves, survey designation.
Approved.
moved. Second?
Got a first from Ethan and a second from Kevin. Discussion.
And we got 2 bids on this?
Yeah,
We did get 2 bids, but I don't see the second one in here.
The other one is 11,000.
Yeah. I should have
Oh,
put that
there it
in
is.
that note.
Yeah.
And actually,
It's here.
Yeah, that
it
one
should,
there.
it does.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those should appear
Read
on
your
the
notes,
agenda
they work.
too. They just shouldn't be in packets.
The other ones are
They
broken.
should appear on your agenda,
Shouldn't be.
so everybody can see.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 13, discussion and decision to expend an amount not to exceed $600 from cemetery capital reserve, cemetery maintenance designation to purchase cemetery signs for Larone Cemetery and Pooler and East Cemetery. Combination. I'm not sure what that means.
They're both signs are for, Pooler and East Cemetery is all on one sign. They're it's in the same place, side by each.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
First from Kevin, second from Ethan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Excuse me. Item 14, discussion and decision to approve the pool tables permit for the following: Skowhegan Madison Elks Lodge, number 2531 at 21 Silver Street, Skowhegan. Washburn Entertainment LLC DBA Central Maine Family Fun Center at 414 Madison Ave.
So moved as written.
Second.
First from Kevin, second from Ethan. Discussion.
I hadn't heard that one before.
We do it every year.
Pool permit?
We're a little bit late, but better late than never.
All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion and decision to approve the bowling alley permit for Washburn Enterprises LLC DBA Central Maine Family Fun Center at 414 Madison Ave.
So moved as written.
First from Kevin, second from Ethan. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 16, discussion and decision to appoint Lori Greenleaf as warden of the State of Maine primary election with a term expiring on June 10th, 2026.
Yeah, this is the one that's 2026. The next one is 2028.
Okay, so moved as written.
Second.
First from Kevin, second from Ethan. Discussion. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Item 17, discussion and decision to appoint election ballot clerks with terms expiring May 1st, 2028.
So moved as written.
First from Kevin,
Second.
second from Ethan. Discussion. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Never thought we'd get here. Discussion and decision authorizing Chief Bucknam to spend an amount not to exceed $3,000 for protective vests for Skowhegan police officers. This is currently $6,812 in the capital reserve account, protective vest designation.
So moved as written.
First from Kevin,
Second.
second from Ethan.
I do have a comment for you, just for transparency purposes. So this body armor was already paid for, I believe, an AP ago, is that correct? 1 or 2 APs ago. After reconciling our capital reserve account for that, we found that the amount that I'd already had pre-approved was not enough to cover those pieces of body armor. So what is presented to you now is what, looking for the approval to cover the remainder of that body armor that's already been purchased. So just for transparency.
Thank you, Chief. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Now we're getting to the treasurer's warrant to be approved. Do I have a motion?
As written.
Second?
We have a first from Elijah and a second from Kevin. Discussion on the warrants.
I have no questions.
Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
Can I point out something? When we do a payroll and it isn't a week that we have a meeting, those payrolls need to have, Renee, does it have to have the finance and the deputy finance, or just one signature?
It has to have just one, I'm not sure.
So we
actually.
will
I
look
think it's
into
two.
that, but instead of them being, because I'm not supposed to let checks go out unless I have, it doesn't have to be an approval, but on the state, on payroll and state of Maine checks, we have to have that signature before they go out of the office. So that's kind of like what we had last time when we did that state of Maine and payroll. So from now on, we don't have a selectmen's meeting. The next week, we need, I will check either two, we need the finance and the deputy finance to come in and sign those.
They can't be, the warrants can't be held to go
Yeah,
on to the
they
next
can't
agenda.
be held to go on the agenda.
So they'll have to come in
So
and
it's,
sign every week.
it's just a little bit of office cleaning.
I
yeah.
think but we asked this question when this came up on the last select board agenda, and it is important for checks and balances.
Yeah, you're right.
So, it's just, it
Because
is.
I can get into trouble.
Okay.
Uh,
That is.
I thought he was leaving here, what are you canning out? I thought he was leaving, what are you canning out?
So it just needs one signature?
It needs two signatures, but that means,
I think it needs two, so that means finance and deputy finance.
Okay.
Have to come in.
So just give me a call.
And we'll make sure they're put so
Yep.
you good people know where they are.
Okay, we're moving to upcoming meetings. We have a regular select board meeting on May 26, 2026 at 5:30. I'm sorry, what?
We did vote on the warrants.
Oh, got to vote on the warrant.
Oh, I thought we did. My bad. All those in favor? Warrants carry 5-0
With the changes, right?
Are we doing this?
with the changes.
The treasurer's warrants, we need a motion and a second.
For the treasurer's warrants. Oh, the warrants, we did vote on the warrants. We took 19 and we brought it all the way forward.
So the warrants are payroll.
Okay, I just took a picture of it, so I want to make sure.
You did the
Okay.
town meeting warrant for the,
They did
At
that one.
19, didn't we carry 19?
We
forward?
reviewed all the revisions. Let's take a formal vote on the revisions I already presented, which you all agreed with.
Very good. So we'll just, discussion, decision to approve town meeting warrant for June 8, 2026.
So moved as written with the updates,
With stated revisions.
with stated revisions. There we go.
Got a first from Kevin, second from Amber. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Okay. As far as the upcoming meetings, I already mentioned the select board meeting. There's a planning board meeting, June 2, 2026 at 6 PM.
You did skip over the treasurer.
No, we did the
No,
treasurer.
No, we
they
did it.
didn't.
I voted,
It was
yeah.
Elijah and then Kevin, and it was 5-0.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Very
The
good.
treasurers,
Yep.
Yes.
Treasurers, yep.
we'll note it back here, so we didn't have it.
You guys can't even keep up with us right now.
Trying. We're
you
trying.
skipped one or the other.
I like skipping. All right, here we go. We've got a TIF educational workshop that we have no idea when we're going to do that. We're going to move on to other business. The first thing I'd like to get going on in other business is
Memorial Day
the
parade.
Memorial Day party or
Parade.
parade, yep.
Well, I'm gonna get the insurance and then I'll email that to you guys. I don't think we should sign it until we get
I don't
verification.
think
of it.
that our policies allow us to take email votes.
Kara said that I could get approval, and then sign
one
it
by one.
under the person.
Why don't we just make a motion
You can
with
We can do
the,
conditional approval.
Right.
Okay,
with the,
then go ahead and do a conditional
Contingent on-
approval that I verify the
And the
insurance.
insurance.
Okay, so the organization is,
So the Federated Church is the organization, and they'll present that insurance. I'll
Okay.
get them to do that.
I vote we approve the application for parades and processions for the Federated Church for the Memorial Day Parade provided that valid insurance is provided to the town manager.
Second.
I have a first from Amber and a second from Kevin. Discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Right. Did you want to discuss anything else in other business relative to the hiring process, or are you all set?
I can just briefly say we're keeping this ball rolling. There's lots to work on right now, but keeping the ball rolling basically means we are, our latest step is to just poll this group. We do want to form a hiring committee that includes some outside members, so that it's not just the select board engaging in the interview process and selection of our next town manager. So this committee has all chimed in about potential members of the community that we could consider, and we'll keep putting our heads together around how to finalize that number, and we'll keep bringing updates to you. But in the meantime, we may want to put Whitney on the May 26th agenda, because we had plenty to do tonight. A discussion and decision of hiring some outside support to help facilitate the process. MMA does have HR legal support that can help to post the position, collect the applicant resumes, vet the first review, do background checks, things like that, and then bring qualified candidates to us. And that quote was about $6,600. There was also another bid and offer from an independent party that offered to do the same. So I think we ought to take that up at the May 26th meeting and make a decision who we want to use, and if we want.
Great, sounds great.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
First from Amber, second from Kevin. Don't forget to sign the papers. Oh, 5-0, right?
Have them sign that too.
Yes, they're doing it. I voted in favor of
Oh,
that.
I never thought that.
Wow, I'm getting old.
Worst meeting of my life.
They're gonna sign everything.
So Whitney, can I just show you something that I don't know. I can't reconcile.
Have them sign the last
So, remember when we got to this point on the warrant and the budget committee had 309 because liking her name. Not a map here, but the presented correct one was 307,500. I went and verified it in the budget narrative, and the budget narrative requires capital efficiency. Adds up to 307,500. So now I'm back to not knowing how I got to 309.
I think they're wrong. I remember the minutes, and there was some extra thing that Bidwell wanted to fund.
No.
There's something that they wanted to fund. That's what I remember. So I have to look at the minutes, I want to take a picture of that, and I'll look at my own back.
Yeah, and I'll show you.
That's why I just, I remember the conversation.
Line it out. And,
Wow, the fact that, and he made a comment about it too, like.
You can do that. You can line it up.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
screw that. That's from the all-day budget day.
In his phone. Oh, yes. Put it in the end of January. Put it in the end of
Here,
January, yes, yes.
I'm gonna grab one of these.
Yep, yep.
Put it in a cell. It is 307,500, not 306.
We
That's
might have to
wrong.
fix it.
So that's wrong. So I don't know why they got 306.
We'll get it all edited, and there was a thing. Amber's on. Yeah. Okay. It is good. Go get the manual. We'll have your rule.
I just think it's, you need somebody who, you guys are in municipal.
Yeah, but he's leaving.
And I've never been asked, so I'm coming, thank you. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. If you want me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you good for that?
So I'll bring that. Okay, guys, I got an update. We're gonna we have all the edits from the warrant tonight. Ethan, Eli, Kevin. We're gonna edit all the corrections, and then I need you guys to come in this week and sign the back page.
Okay, just send an email.
We're gonna get,
Kara's planning on going to the printers with those Thursday because she is not here Friday.
You want me in about 3:30 in the morning?
yes.
I want to check a couple of numbers before you send that out.
Okay.
And also, I did talk to Ken about getting those ordinances on the thing. He's going to call you tomorrow.
Okay.
And if he says they can go on, we should get them on.
Okay. So I'll send an email. We just gotta get these signatures on before we go to the printer. Cool, thank you.
Amber, thank you for all your help tonight.
Of course, of course. What day is this after week?
Love it.
Kara's saying Thursday, I'm saying Friday.
Yeah, I'm missing
Thursday or
this.
Friday.
You're not funny.
We'll get it done by Tuesday.
I'm gonna miss you guys.
Thursday.
We're not going anywhere now.
I'm just saying. 2, 3 more meetings. It's all over. Although this one is a long one. I spent a long time.
Donnie?
It is, yeah, it's got the
Well,
big,
we already made
big
Christian
font, which I
I'm
like.
miss his
I'm
child's
no, it's okay.
graduation,
I'm at
so.
a conference all day in Massachusetts on Thursday. I get home really late. Friday, I'm at my daughter's college graduation. If you cannot track me down, there is someone at my office authorized to use my signature stamp, and I'm gonna send her over.
We'll get this edited out.
Well, congratulations to your
Russell,
daughter and to you.
Russell.
Well, we got
Tomorrow, can it be tomorrow?
I'm still trying to get payroll done this week.
Everyone's earned a lot of Fridays in July.
We don't have time to take Fridays off.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is this, by the way? What am I doing?
That is our facilities plan. That's the 40, well, we didn't get billed for the full 40. But that's the study we did of
You have one for each.